those were your comic books. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mark Rank says it was a Gary Turner, so it was a GT. It was before GT, but Gary Turner made his
Wow.
bike.
Mark
Yeah,
knows Mark knows way too much because he lived it.
Mark. Yeah. So I'll tell you a quick story where when I raced for Maine Bikes, I got my first Jag from Maine Bikes in
Oh,
'79, and we there was for years he had a Gary Littlejohn tandem in the front window of his shop, and we would walk by that and we wouldn't even give it a second look. We're like, that's the most ugly fucking bike I've ever seen. Nobody wanted this thing. He couldn't sell it for nothing. And if it sat in that window for at least 15 years, at least
no.
maybe 12, and he closed the shop. I don't know what happened to that bike. I tried to hunt him down. It was a tandem Gary Littlejohn 20-inch with the gold doodads on it, and I was like, "Oh man, dude, that thing would be worth like 20 grand by now."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways,
And
that's my whole thing. I like your Little John stuff.
like anything that I want now is it's like 3,200. I love the Hutch Aerospeed cranks, but those alone are like 2 grand now. So, and I had them. I remember calling Mike Miranda, like, I can't get them off. He's like, you gotta use the box wrench as a lever. And I'm like, oh, thanks. So Mike helped me get my Aerospeeds off. But I wish, like, because at that time in your life, you don't, it's like your car. How don't we wish we all had classic cars? But you move on. Like, oh, I'll just sell this to get some money to go on to my next project, which is like mountain biking or whatever. So I
Yeah,
really wish. I mean, I got some jerseys. I have things, but man, the bikes, we didn't know it was going to be this cool.
absolutely, dude.
So
The
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just so I want to talk about this festival, bro, and Hall of Fame, and
Mhm.
because I don't want to. I know it's getting late for you. Probably. I know you're not a night owl,
Oh, how do you know
but
that?
I heard it was on the internet. The so first comes the Hall of Fame in New Jersey, right?
Hmm.
And whose idea was it? Your idea, or does someone say, "John, we're going to start Hall of Fame, and congratulations, you're going to be in charge of it"?
No, well, so here it is. John Shackle, who was one of my heroes growing up, Jersey Pro. He was hanging with Stu and all the big boys when they came back east. His sister is Kathy Shackle. She's phenomenal as well. Both Hall of Famers. So he came to me. He had the New Jersey BMX Hall of Fame Facebook page, and I was over at the BMX Legend Society Facebook page. That's Charlie Williams, by the way. So
Yep.
he said to me, "Hey, can you run the page? Like, I like the way you're moving things around. You're always on. You got friends, and you can just do your thing. Be like the Dana White of the UFC, right? Just do your thing. Be the guy that goes out and does all the work. Not they all do work, but to a degree, you're posting. I like the way you post." So I go, "Yeah, no problem." And then he goes, "Hey, listen, ultimately we want to have the Hall of Fame. Let's build a committee." So we built a committee of 4 guys, and I don't want to say who's on the committee because then there's more like, well, he voted for him, that kind of stuff. Because building a committee and building a Hall of Fame is a beautiful experience, but like anything, it's not truly Disneyland because you're always going to get somebody. Why didn't you put him in? How come you're putting so many people in? Like, I defend questions all day, but I'm a lighthearted, fun guy. It's all good. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt of third degree, so if things get crazy, I'm okay. But
Yeah.
so I took that on and I said to John, okay, let's build a committee. So anybody that wants to do it, like we've had people say, listen, we raced in Jersey, so we want to include our state in the Hall of Fame. And I was like, well, it's kind of crazy. I believe it's better if you guys have your own Hall of Fames, and then because then people started to get do I race in Jersey more than I raced in my home state, whatever. So like I'm saying, it's not easy. So with the committee, we said, who do you think? Like everybody come up with names, right? And we're going online and getting opinions from everybody. And we're gonna have a ballot box this year, actually, where if you think someone should be in, you put their name in. So amongst the committee, and what's funny about the committee is not everybody always agrees. Like I have people that are I adore and they were great and I believe they deserve to be in. I got vetoed on some of the people I brought up. And then some were like, come on. give me a break. He's in a Charlie Litsky, Rich Farside, Jared Justice. I mean, Sal Zuner. Like these are they're in. They're in. But people also ask, like, well, how come there's so many people? Two reasons why is one, if you put 5 people in, how fun and exciting is your dinner going to be? You got 5 people. You got 5 families there. Hey guys, this is great. So we also had to catch up, and we also had to bring in the pioneers, and there's so many pioneers. And if people think that someone didn't get in, it's funny. I could literally put everybody in not me, the committee could put everybody in the first year, and then we wouldn't have a banquet next year. So a lot of people, if they're just patient, like it's funny to see that there's no patience at all. Like if it is not the Hall of Fame unless you put this guy in. I'm like, so it's going to happen. Like in my head and the committee's head, we have 3 or 4 years ahead. In my brain, I already know, like when we get into the 90s, who I think, so, but it's just me thinking. I have to put it to the committee. They have to say yes, yes, and yes, or no, no, no. And then I go, okay. So John bestowed me that beautiful honor. So I just started, and then I said, where can I get the feelings that I get when I'm at Frogtown and Dirty Fest, which is I'm driving home for a week. I'm posting, everybody's posting. I'm a cinematographer and I do professional photography. So I'm there snapping photos all day long, which is something I need to tell you about. We are relaunching the BMX Action Calendar. I'm relaunching that. Get ready.
With new pictures or old pictures?
New pictures, and it encompasses the entire breadth of BMX. It's like, like Eric Roop, for instance, started in the 70s, still racing in his 50th year. That guy deserves a month for sure, So I didn't want to make it like old, and I didn't want to make it new. I'm going to make it a perfect blend. So that's my cool announcement. But back to the Hall of Fame. So I said, I want these feelings that I get when I go to these events. Well, why don't we just do a festival on the East Coast? The East Coast has never had, they've had little vintage shows, but they never had something I want to create. I want to create a vendor's row, a foot down comp, raffle, autograph session, like an East Coast version. So I go, well, screw it. I'll just put it on the day of the Hall of Fame, which is October 5th. The festival will be at Central Jersey BMX in Howell. That's 2449 US 9 Highway, Howell 07731. So where we all used to race, like I'm going back to where I have DNA in the dirt because I crashed there so much, right? So the festival will be at Howell, Central Jersey BMX. We all used to drive there. And what's funny is that, it's not funny, but the track's up for sale. So this might be the last one at Howell. So we got to get out there and support the people we grew up with.
And so then other people from different states can come to the New Jersey BMX Festival.
100%. That's why I called it the Northeast Vintage BMX Festival, because we got, Justin Shepard's coming up. Mike Rodriguez is coming down. We got people swarming from all over, a lot of Pennsylvania. So yeah, it's not just about Jersey. Like it's about the Hall of Fame is strictly Jersey, but come on, you all raced. How many times did Jared Justice beat all these people? They need to come and support him, right? So that's the festival in the day. We're going to start about 9:00, and it's got everything. Robert Lane, for the first time, is bringing the Red Line BMX Museum to the East Coast. It's never been there before, so he's excited for it. So, and if you haven't seen that, it's like there's John Cruz's bike. That's John Cruz's parts. That's the bike he rode. There's Stu Thompson's. There's Greg Hills. There's Dennis Danes. Jeff Kosmala. So when I saw it, I've seen it a couple of times. And I just stand there and I stare and I go, "That's it. That's that's it. The stuff he rode, not like repop or anything. It's like grip." So I'm nerdy like that, like because I used to look at the magazines and know. So Robert's bringing that out, and then we're gonna have that till about 6, about 5. Then everybody can shower and head over to the Battleground Country Club. That is 1 Cohoven Road, Manalapan, 07728, 6:00 banquet and New Jersey BMX Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And
now, can anybody go to that?
Absolutely. Everything's open. Okay. Yeah. It's like a Dirty Fest or Frogtown. You can come from wherever you want. Like I know all the East Coast guys come out here for that. The thing with that is it's a dinner, and you can get a table. A lot of people have been asking, like, I want a table. Well, you can buy individual tickets. You can buy a table, and it's like going to the prom where you show up and you're like, oh, everyone's over here, and you make your tables. It's $90 a plate for the dinner, full course meal, and you can Zelle to get those tickets. 772-521-2348. That gets you your dinner ticket, but it's spectator free at the festival. You can walk around all day. I'm going to make a commemorative poster, have all the inductees sign it. I'm going to make a T-shirt, and how cool to have the first ever inaugural Hall of Fame, because I got to do it every year, right? I just can't do one. So
Yeah.
this is truly like kind of a big deal. So
you sparked. I've been thinking about this since we talked last, and the only thing I think that Dirty Fest is missing is some sort of video documentation sponsored by the function, where official Dirty Fest, going around interviewing people, documenting everything, all the vendors, the racing, and that type of thing. Other people are like, out with their iPhones out, taking pictures,
yeah,
stuff, whatever. But that, I'm not telling you what to do, but that, for the next Dirty Fest, I was thinking, like, man, if they could somehow capture that, edit it down, and put it behind a paywall of some kind where people can watch, because I mean, how many thousands of guys of comments I've seen on the different Facebook pages were like, "Oh, dude, I can't make it. I wish I could be there." I mean, have you ever thought about something like that? You're a cinematographer. You could probably do it.
yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying to add on to your responsibilities, man.
No. I'm going to tell you why I don't do it. Because in my jiu-jitsu school, I always have to film the ceremonies, right? The belt promotions, right? I always got to do it. Blah, blah, blah. I never get to enjoy the event, right? So if I have to go around and document, and I'm qualified, I can't enjoy the event. I can't spend time with Andy Patterson because I got to think about who's up next for the
Good
interview.
point. Good
And
point.
I go there and I do photos, and I put the photos up for the calendar, BMX Action relaunch, and I put them up on all the sites. I do BMX Legend Society page, the Hall of Fame page. Anybody's from Jersey, like Jason Richardson, I always snap some of him. So I'm doing photos that day, which takes a lot of time, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to miss out on the event. Is it?
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'll miss out
Yeah.
on something. I'll be doing an interview and then, Greg Hill was here, but he just left. I'm like, I didn't get a chance to see Greg because, he calls me 3 times a week and I don't want to see him anyway. But, which is a whole nother story with that guy. Man, we did some things to poor Greg, and he still to this day, there may or not been a plaque or a Nora Cup trophy that disappeared from BMX Action, and it may have ended up in the POW house. And we may have done things to it. This is all speculation from what I've heard, speaking for a friend. And Greg, to this day, he's like, how's my plaque going? I'm like, dude, let it go. It's been 30 years, man. Let it go. Oh, no, how's the trophy? Like the POWs versus the MVPs. And Merino Valley Pros was Greg, Todd Blazer, Todd Corbett. It was always this little thing. We try and do little like pranks to them. They do pranks to